Okay guys, we're just going to do a preview for the Longford Cup Meeting on New Year's Day. I'll just preface it by saying I've been thinking about it for a while, but this will probably be the last one of these I do for a while. Just been doing it for a couple of years, and anyway, I'll touch on that after the preview anyway, as to benefits of betting in Tassie, etc. But we'll jump into the card. So the first, obviously, we've got a soft 5 rating at the moment. Stinking hot. It's about 2 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Meant to be another hot day tomorrow, so you'd imagine we're probably looking at the good range. Like most Tassie tracks, when they do harden up, it virtually makes it impossible to make ground, and Longford being tight turning, you'd imagine that's definitely not going to assist back markers. But anyway, you still with my voice, I'm struggling a bit. So anyway, the first over the 1400, and we've got a couple of bookmaker pin-up boys here in Cunning Fox and With No Name. If we just have a look at their SP profile, it's 320, 330, 270, 330, 460, and 280, 290, 310 and 230, and they're both still going around in maidens. That being said, just over the 1400, I'm in the corner of With No Name. There's only one thing to keep in mind, even though there's 12 or 13 acceptances for most races, the field size is limited to 8 with the tightness of the track. So a lot of barriers can be misleading with 4 or 5 emergencies, but With No Name has drawn the outside. But with Siggy Carr, I imagine she presses forward. He is very one-paced. His 2 1400 metre runs have been good. We might go and have an actual look at them. So here's his first 1400 metre run.
The soft 5.
So he carries the orange colours with the white sleeves. So you can see just through the middle here, going towards the lead, and they go absolutely mad here. So it's 3 deep, presses on, and the middle horse kicks up, and you can see here they've done themselves no favours. So here we go here, and you just see he's very one pace. So he looks gone for all money, just keeps kicking, and the horse is having the soft run behind them. Beat them. Horse outside's also went super here. Cape Cardinal, he since came out and won his next start by 4 lengths and has ran pretty well in good company since. They had every right to get beaten 5 lengths, both of these two, like the other one here that took them on. You just see him kicking back on the inside. This is Buzzard, who's competitive in this grade as well. So, and the other 1400 metre run, it doesn't look too crash hot when you read it. Like 5th beaten 6 lengths as a $3 favourite.
So the 1400,
it's actually Cape Cardinal won this race, drew barrier 1, who was the horse outside him there before. So you can see drew the outside this day, and they don't press forward, they just work forward. But the thing to keep in mind this night, it was a dead set 1-lane highway on the fence. You can see him here, hard ridden, going nowhere, going backwards. If you just watch him late, he's as good as any horse out wide. He's the widest horse now. It's the last Godfather inside him, I think. So, I said Cape Cardinal. This is Buzzard again. GG's Magic Man. If you just watch his last 100 metres, you just see he's strong again, but the entire night, nothing out wide did a thing. So, he was out in the no-go zone, so there was 4 deep the trip. It's a lot better run than it reads on paper. Then last time in Hobart, it was back over 1100, and he just hasn't got a couple of them have just got too much zip for him over this trip. So here he is here, 5th on the outside. A couple of horses came out and won on Friday from this race. You've got Miss ISO and Sir Simon back on the inside. He was super impressive actually on Friday, Sir Simon. And they're pretty similar in the run to the line. Sir Solomon went a tad better, but he just held up a bit. You just see him just one pacing over the 1100, just grinding into his work. So you can see him on speed over the 1400. I think he's the one to kick off the card at Longford with no name. So anyway, the second is the benchmark 64 over 1400. Interesting thing here, the two leaders, noted leaders in Apriano and GG's Queenie, have both never raced beyond 1200. Both got apprentices on as well, so I'm not too sure what will happen if one takes charge, whether they'll let the other one go or whether they'll bring another undone. I will say Apriano is racing as if he's been pretty dour at the end of his 1200 runs, so wouldn't be totally shocked even carrying sort of 60 kilos, but just with the likelihood of good speed, I think Gone Girl might be the one getting the good run. She's got a good record on good tracks, which she's definitely likely to get here. Good tempo, soft draw, knew it on. As I mentioned, the only concern is will horses be able to make ground? I think if we just have a look at her record, she's 9 starts for 3 wins on good, but about 3 other starts are in listed races such as the Stud Stakes, the Oaks, etc. So so it is actually does read a little bit misleading. So, and last time they ran home very good, like 36 dead over a mile. It was a very quick last 600. So couldn't make ground, and a couple of very smart ones she was chasing. So, back from benchmark 72 grade to benchmark 64. Happy to be on her. It's obviously a lot here. Obviously depends on price. I generally like to wait until bets 365 go up, as the rest tend to copy anyway, even though majority of people can't get on there. So just use last Friday as an example. All week I was going to best bet Sabon in the last, but they put her up $2.80, and I couldn't tip anybody into her at that price. So we went with Golden Girl. So, but obviously with plans this evening, nobody's up already, so I thought I might as well do it. But race 2, number 6, Gone Girl. The third is my best bet of the day in the form of Goodbye Lonesome. Has been smashing the clock from back in the field, and then last time was ridden aggressively on speed. They did beat the rest by a fair way. I might just actually go and have a look at the replay. So the time of the race, it was actually quite comparable to the big 3-year-old race on the night won by the Inevitable. The one thing I will point out, he was a tad flattered with the on-speed dominance, as they actually ran home quicker in this race than they did in the 3-year-old race, but the overall time was about half a second slower from memory, so they did get about 5 or 6 lengths easier early on. But we'll just cue up the replay of that one. Right, so Goodbye Lonesome, so we've got the purple with the white chevron.
Ready to go.
So you can see he's drawn. So about a 7 or 8 here. Ridden aggressively early to sit outside the leader. They do sit up mid-race. You can see they put a fair gap into the rest of them though, so and this is over 1400. If this race was at Launceston, I'd almost use the M word, M being moral. Yeah, we just can see him on speed, going to be strong through the line. Even though they've got it soft, nothing's making an inch of ground on them, so happy to back him. I did back Pelagia last time, and she was pretty average, if truth be told, but she's got blinkers on here, which may spark a big improvement, so I'm a bit scared of her. But apart from that, she's probably the only one. If she improved 5 lengths with the blinkers on and knocked off Goodbye Lonesome. I could cop that, but if anybody else, like Katie Cat, if there's any rain about, it'd definitely bring her right into calculations, but I just can't see her beating Goodbye Lonesome, so yeah, happy to make him best bet. Fourth, tricky little race this one. Cape Cardinal has come out, who we point out in the replays of the race 1 tip with no name, which takes a bit of speed out of the race. There is still a fair bit in there with Flick Picks, Clever Charlotte, Medard. Breathtaking we kicking up from barrier 1. Breathtaking's the interesting one. Beat Flick Picks, very similar field at Devonport, which was a vast improvement on a previous form. I guess we'll find out here whether it was back on the synthetic track, or whether she's turned the corner on the grass track. So, but barrier 1, she's going to box seat. It's the one you have to have on top. I just think there's one here I think might run a much improved race. Global Princess. She's been used a bit early and hasn't finished off. I think she's better ridden dead cold. And if they do overdo things a bit here, when she's on her A game, she can definitely figure in this type of event. But just looking for a bolter on the day, I think she's probably one that might, she may be a massive improver if ridden stone cold and the leaders overdo things. But just not keen on that race at all, as I'm not sure what version of Breathtaking is going to turn up. And but she's going to be in the right place. If she brings the Devonport form, she probably wins. The fifth, over the 1800 trip for the maidens Class 1 horses. He's rushing one of these races at Devonport the other day, pretty similar. Fontaine Ali was, had a chance at Hobart. Not sure if it's her chance in Hobart on Friday, but still stuck to her guns okay. Judy's First Lady was disappointing in that race. So the two I'm actually settled on here are the 2 3-year-old fillies in Glass Warrior and Smack Talk. I went round in the same race the other day. Smack Talk finished second, Glass Warrior fourth. To be honest, if you look at that race, Glass Warrior is probably a shade better, even though it finished behind Smack Talk. We might actually cue that one up. So we've got it here. So Smack Talk. So you can see the Glass Warrior is a grey horse, so the colour's pretty sort of moot point, but in Smack Talk's in the black with the black and white checked sleeves. So
we're all set to run.
And this is behind Sabon, who's since come out and won again. So if we have a look here, so here is Glass Warrior and Sabon, not Sabon, so Smack Talk's directly in front of her. So actually we'll just go. So if we go through here, you can see Glass Warrior sort of held up a little bit, loses a bit of momentum, and Smack Talk's come wide and just kept coming. So, if bar Fed Clear running, they probably finished about equal. And just had to change course again there. But she just kept coming, Smack Talk. I actually really liked a trial early on, Smack Talk, and was on her first couple of starts, and she actually led and was found wanting. Got ridden cold at the trials and savaged the line and did it again here. So despite making the case that Glass Warrior should have finished a lot closer here, I'm actually still in the Smack Talk corner. Actually, I think I mentioned this the other day, Sabon. By Tough Speed out of a Savoir Vive mare, which is exactly the same combo as the mighty Sabon. So the extra distance not going to be an issue. And the other thing that leans me to her corner is Gate 2 and Glass Warrior out in 7, so comes into 5, but Smack Talk's going to be settling a lot closer, probably a pair or two closer in the run than Glass Warrior. So you're happy to be on Smack Talk in race 5. In the Cup, I've been in Zatakla corner virtually since day one, always been a wrap for the horse. As I alluded to at the beginning, I am a bit concerned about the firmness of if the track gets firm, will they be able to make ground? I don't think they're that badly off at the weights, the top two. Golden Girl was super on Friday behind Count Da Vinci. And she'll be in front of Zataclarelli. A couple here with claims like Hugo. Wasn't given much chance last time, but carrying the postage stamp of 51, and Kanji down to 52.5. So expect both of them to improve, and it has been a race dominated by horses down the bottom over the years. But I'm still in the Zatacla corner, but price scares me to death. I still think you win, but I wouldn't be jumping in, at the likely price. And we've actually got a very similar scenario in the last stablemate as Zatacla. Mag Wheels was actually super run last time, drew the outside gate and had to go all the way back and just savage the line. Says drawn barrier 4, but 3 emergency have drawn 1, 2, 3, so actually comes out of gate 1, so she's going to get every possible. There's a few, like Ollie's a Star, Waiuna, they're always running on. Rianne's Diamond. Not a great deal of speed in the race. Monmouth will probably press forward and lead. Roulette Star, Berry Wise Fox maybe, if he gets a run. But Mag Wheels, the price scares me to death. But probably going to be leaders back, so she's going to be 6-4, I'd imagine. So got to have her on top. Backing her is another thing. So just recapping then. On the card, the best bet's race 3, number 3, Goodbye Lonesome. And the other two I'd recommend backing are race 1, number 3, With No Name, and race 5, number 8, Smack Talk. But, as I mentioned, bet the best, race 3, number 3, Goodbye Lonesome, and just to throw out a roughie, something on Global Princess in the 4th. So, anyway, that wraps up Longford cards. So, hopefully Goodbye Lonesome can do the job there for us. So, and as I touched on at the beginning, I've been thinking of pulling the pin on doing the video previews for a while. No sort of real reason. It's just I've been doing it for 2 years now. So, just means that I've got to be near a computer at 5 o'clock and sort of the day before. And just after a couple of years, and to be honest, I primarily only started to benefit myself as I'd come from sort of zero gallops background. It was previously all harness betting. And all my gallops betting was just following a couple of good judges, and over the years I'm following them in blindly. So, but harness racing betting just became too hard, just with you've no idea what time prices are going up, and if you couldn't get on with when they're first up, you lose a lot of your advantage. Like prices were going up anywhere between the night before and an hour before the first race, so you've had to camp yourself in front of your computer for 16 hours and kiss goodbye to any life. And also there's obviously a couple of other clear integrity issues apparent at the moment there, but I'll leave that alone. But so anyway, but the one thing we'll mention betting in Tassie, I just want to sort of make reference to this before we sign out. I must admit I was as guilty as anybody of pigeonholing people who bet in. I reckon the common consensus, if you looked at people and people who bet at places like Darwin and Kalgoorlie and places like that on a Saturday afternoon, that majority of pundits would say, look at those mugs betting at Kalgoorlie and Darwin. But in reality, they're probably the smartest punters in the room. If you think it's very similar to Tassie in that you've got a common horse base, you can measure form v form. It's like doing form for a Tassie race, you probably have to watch 4 to 5 videos. If you're doing form for a Flemington race, you probably have to watch 25 different races and then try and work out which of those 25 races was stronger. And yeah, so measuring apples with apples in Tassie is obviously much easier. I will say that was only when I went and worked for Mark Reed back in the late 90s that it actually hit me the amount of winning punters who bet on those smaller areas. And it's just common sense. So when you think about it logically, you're far better off betting in places like Tassie, Darwin, just trying to think sort of northern Western Australia, just where you haven't got a great variety of form intertwined. So yeah, but so that was it there, and I just obviously took that into account. So, and obviously since we've been doing this, we tabled all the results, which I hadn't actually updated since we did this review about August. When was this done? It was about August last year, so it was actually done about May last year. So we've added the results as when the Launceston meetings went into recess. So, but we've actually added it to it. So we've got all the results there. So got a total of 149 bets. Actually, we'll put Goodbye Lonesome in as number 150. And based on level betting them, we've got a return of 257.9 if we had $1 on every one of the 149. So just trying to work that out. So that's obviously a profit of 108.9 from 149 bets. So if we're doing a return on investment, if it was 100 profit on 150 bets, it's 66%, so it's a bit better than that. So we're probably looking 71% return on investment. And so the stats back up where I'm coming from. Like, you tell me any tipster, betting agency, these people who drive you mad by retweeting rubbish on social media, that's got results anywhere like a 70% return on investment over a 2-year period. The other thing that actually just in a little pivot table, which comes in handy as well. So actually I'll just drag that over here, and we'll just I'll just expand him up. So I'll just obviously put this data into graph form. And the one thing to keep in mind here is that you can see that obviously the solid blue line is the $1 outlay in each race, so it's obviously consistent gradient. But the results of each collect, you can see it's actually quite consistent as well. So there's no peaks and troughs. Go through the results, it means we virtually won every month. There's not one result impacting the data. It's that consistency as well. Actually, in just doing, pivot tables are the easiest thing ever to do in Excel. They're worthwhile doing. Obviously, this is a very basic one, but if you just let's sort of analyse the results. But actually, just looking at that, if I was going to wrap it up, it would have been good to tip Count Da Vinci. Count Da Vinci was the first horse over tipped, and Zatakla was the second. It was nice backing Count Da Vinci in a Class 1, I think it was, and Zatakla in a maiden. If you'd like to know how good they were going to turn out, I might have had a bit more on. But it would have just put a nice little bow on her if I wrapped it up with Count. If I did back Count Da Vinci on Friday too. Could have made him my best bet, and Zatakla my best bet at the Longford Cup. It would have put a nice little bow on it. But anyway, so what you do, you can just sort of, just with the drop down boxes, you can just isolate it by track. Just say Hobart. And you can see the green are winners, red's unplaced, and white's a placing. We'll just you can sort of narrow it down to anything like jockeys. Back Siggy Carr a lot, so she's aggressive and rides on speed. So you can see there's all the results, and even like if we just pick out for the record on back horses she's ridden in Launceston, you get That, and if you ever look there, like, I think there's a tackler, was outside leader, double D was outside leader that day, GD's free, lead, laughing air, got back, leader, outside leader. So everyone else that one bar laughing air raced in the first two. So, and that's the other thing, it's the one thing when you do data like this, you can put anything in there. If I just go, and if it's obviously cars right, so I'll just put all the jockeys back again. So if we just sort it by colour, so if I put all the unplaced ones there, when I go through these, Remorse got back, Hard Empire got back, Siorca got back, Kepta got back, East Ender got back, LA Magic got back, Sebring Star got back, GG's Top Notch got back, Midnight Quest. They virtually all get back. So, you know, it's one of those things you live and learn as a punter. So, you know, I can put, and even with these pivot tables, you can put something, you know, extra data in, like where the horse was at the 400 metre, 800 metre mark, and then also, you know, sort of adjust your results from there. Like, I can identify a common thread there that all these unplaced horses I back get back. So if we have a look here, I haven't backed too many at all that get back since, like the majority of obviously all the winners are on speed. So, and results have told the story afterwards. So, but anyway, like, I'm probably not going to be gone forever. Like, the other thing I did notice there, like 312 videos I've done over the 2 years. So, yeah, it does get a bit time consuming. I'll probably be back at some stage. Primarily, as I mentioned, it made me do form properly. I've always been a bit obsessive compulsive about things, that I'll watch replays 10 times each and sometimes suffer a bit by paralysis by analysis, but if we're going to do it, you might as well do it properly. So, but I just want to, you know, like the other thing I just want to emphasise as well, like, I'm not showing these results to pump up my own tyres. I'm just trying to emphasise exactly how good a product betting on Tasmania is. Like, every successful betting operation will bet in these smaller domains. Why do they bet in Victoria and New South Wales? It all comes down to volume. If you just think about it, they can have, just trying to think how many races there. Just say we have 500 races a year in Tasmania, which is about 10 a week. You know, if they win 30% on that for the year, you know, in Victoria you've got 10 meetings a week, so you've probably got 5,000 races over the course of the year. Even if they win 5% on each Victorian race, they've got 10 times as many races. So at the end of the year, that 5% is actually worth more to them than winning 30% on Tasmanian racing. Unless, of course, they bet high denominations in Tasmania, which is virtually impossible. But yeah, but that's why they bet. You know, it all comes down to volume for their turnover. So that's the only reason they bet in Victoria. If they could solely get away with betting in Darwin, North Queensland, Tassie, those type of places, they'd dump Melbourne and Sydney racing as quick as look at it. So anyway, yep, you can, yeah, but just in future, just never ever think that you're the mug betting on Tassie racing. The real mugs are the ones trying to identify form at Flemington tomorrow as opposed to Longford. But anyway, guys, I'll wrap it up there. Sorry, I probably should have prepared something. I've gone off on a few different tangents, but I've actually enjoyed doing it. It's definitely been worth it from my perspective. I'll probably only come back if I'm struggling, so hopefully I don't. But yeah, New Year's Day does seem as good a time as any to wrap it up, and plus it'll be my 150th best bet from the videos. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there. So cheers, guys. Best of punting, and I won't be a stranger on Twitter anyway. So we'll leave it there. Thanks again.